Welcome to WagerTalk TV, guys. I'm Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, followed by Ralph Michaels at CalSportsLV and Brian Leonard at B Leonard Sports. Make sure you guys are giving both of them a follow. Let's talk about the biggest NBA game of the weekend, the Houston Rockets at the Golden State Warriors. Listen, the Warriors, well, actually, neither one of these teams is incredible against the spread by any means this year. Both are very overvalued by bookmakers. So I was fading both of them. I did talk to Jeff Sherman over at the Westgate. He made the Warriors minus 8.5. Brian, what did you make this one?
Yeah, I made it 9.5, so we're in the same range. Obviously, with the NBA, you got to worry about who's playing. Shouldn't really be much of a factor here. They're each playing one game after the break before this game here, so I would expect both teams to come in full strength. Interesting to note that the Warriors so far this season, when they're playing top 5 teams in the NBA, 5-3 straight up. They really get up to play these elite teams in the NBA. Overall, against the top 16, which is the top level of the NBA, they're only 16-18. But Golden State really hasn't played well against good teams this year. They're only 7-9 straight up against top 10 opposition. But I think they're going to be ready to play this one. They lost both games against Houston this year, including a 21-point loss earlier. So you would think a team like Golden State, this would be a game that they really want. But it's hard to lay that kind of points against a Houston team that, like I said, you don't find too many teams this time of the season that are 5-3 against your elite teams in the NBA.
Yeah, Ralph, this is really interesting. I did read that Clint Capella may be back for this game. It sounds like he's very probable.
So he should be back for the Lakers game Friday.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So what do you make as far as that goes? How much do you make Clint Capella? How much do you think it's going to help Harden, take some of that pressure off him? Or do you think it might actually hurt him?
Well, you know, the thing about Houston is they have good game, bad game. Going back since January 1st, they played 21 games. They're 8-13 against the spread. They're 0-8 off an ATS win. They have not covered back-to-back wins this calendar year. I mean, an amazing stat for a team like the Rockets. Now, Capella is going to help them on the defensive end a lot. We talked about that in videos a couple weeks ago with him being gone. But the difference for me is that is the game they have to play prior. Golden State plays Sacramento. And Golden State, prior to the All-Star game, 16-2 straight up. They can beat whoever they want. Guys were hurt. I mean, they just got back everyone. They got back Curry. They got back, who was from the Pelicans? I went brain dead. The big forward that they got who just came back.
And you know me, I know this much NBA.
I'll think about it as we keep talking. So they just got their roster back now. So now it's motivation, who they want to play. Like Brian said, they had lost both to Houston this year. But Houston has to go play the Lakers. That's a big Thursday TNT game. You're playing LeBron, who now has to start winning to get to the playoffs. You have Harden, who has 31 straight games of 30 points or more. And for them to start on the road, have to play a meaningful game like the Lakers, 2 days later play another road game against Golden State. I think it's an edge where Golden State finally says, okay, we lost 2 games. Let's focus this game. You know, down the stretch, they lost 6 of 7 against the spread before the All-Star break. Well, that's because you have the best NBA players looking forward to a long break, not worried about it, but they won all those games. So I think Golden State, if they're laying, if they're laying that 8.5 number, I would look to play them. And I would also look to the under, that I think this is the first meaningful game for them. And we may get a little playoff attitude in here, them trying to slow Harden down a little bit.
Do you have a total?
Capella in there. Oh boy, we're going to be in the what, 235s?
Okay.
With this game. Okay. Capella may help a little bit, and we'll see what happens. So, I would look with Golden State, and I would look with the under.
I do want to point out, you talked about Houston winning one against the spread, losing one against the spread. A lot of that has to do with Harden, your best player, having to carry so much of the load. If he plays so well that they got a chance to cover the spread, it's hard to come back, especially if they're playing a back-to-back.
Yep.
All right, good stuff from both guys. Guys, Tuesday is always $2 Tuesdays, and you can get the hottest handicapper at WagerTalk's best bet for just $2.